Stephen A., you think the Texans gave J.J. Watt a different request for his release versus Deshaun's request to be traded? You think that's treated differently?
Hell yeah, without question. Now, you could make the argument that J.J. Watt has been there significantly longer, and his years of service have a lot to do with the fact that they elected to make, to just let him go. You can also make the argument that his position, while very, very important, isn't as important as the quarterback position. So they have an opportunity to recover as a franchise from losing him rather than if you lost the talent at the quarterback position, that of Deshaun Watson. But again, the times that we're living in does have something to do with what we're talking about here. Deshaun Watson wants out. You come out, you hire a coach, 65 years of age, 27 years in the league. We wish Coach David Culley nothing but the best, and certainly he's put in the work to earn this opportunity. Nobody's rooting against him. But between Caserio, the GM, and then you hire David Culley as the head coach, you bring these guys in. Deshaun tells you he doesn't want to be a part of the organization any longer. He wants out, and you are dogged in your approach, at least publicly, that you're not about to let him go. But then J.J. Watt meets with you and asks, I want out. I'd like you to let me out of my contract. And they say, okay. And so when you look at the difference, that's how folks on the outside are going to look at it. Now, there may be a legitimate argument, very legitimate argument. We don't know what the hell is going on. We're not inside the walls of that organization, and we get it. But from an optics perspective, J.J. Watt, a star in my estimation, obviously a three-time defensive player of the year. We know what he brings to the table, but he's a guy that's incredibly loved within the community, attached to the franchise, who also happens to be white, simply makes a request to you to let him go. And you say, okay, no problem. But Deshaun Watson wants out, and you've let it be known to the world, we ain't about to let you go. You ain't going no damn place. That's how it looks. And that's a very, very bad look for an organization that has done a lot over the last few months, if not years, to look very, very bad.
You said it right, Stephen. You think about this. This is exactly 1 month ago today. Think about how much stuff has happened with the Houston Texans in 1 month. On January 15th, Schefter put out that cryptic tweet that said if you thought Deshaun Watson was angry on a scale of 2 to 10 when they traded D-Hop, it's now a 10 of 10. That tweet set it off because Deshaun then doubled down on the tweet and essentially confirmed it. That was January 15th. Everything that Stephen A. has said has happened in the last month. The social media extraction, the hiring of David Culley, the situation with Eric Bieniemy, Jack Easterby, Nick Caserio, everything here has gone down. The trade request, it's all gone down in the last month. And I agree with your longevity argument for sure. Deshaun has been in the league 4. JJ's been in the league 2.5 times that. And the other guy that asked for his release or to be traded, Matt Stafford, has been in the league 3 times as long as Deshaun Watson. Last week, Stephen A., you said on First Take, a Texas-size swap. Deshaun for Dak. Make it happen. Well, this morning, Stephen A., we asked our front office insider Mike Tannenbaum if he would take Stephen A.'s advice and make that deal. Here's what a guy that's actually made deals for 2 NFL franchises, the Jets and the Dolphins, said about Stephen A.'s statement.
I'm a huge Dak Prescott fan. I'm probably in the minority from a standpoint. I think it's close. I think some people see Watson and Prescott. I'm much closer. That's a really interesting question. I think they would both have to be there, signed, which obviously Dak isn't. So that's a fascinating dynamic. If I was Dallas, I would do it. And if I were Houston, I would actually strongly consider it.
Stephen A., you said it. What's the feasibility, though, that it happens?
I don't think there's a strong feasibility to it because, again, Dak is not signed, and that's the situation right now. What I'm saying is, in my fantasy world, think about what I'm trying to say here. Deshaun Watson is a star. Dallas, America's team, which they don't deserve that motto. They don't deserve that name, by the way. I mean, America, I thought, was the land of prosperity and the land of opportunity, not the land of mediocrity. Don't get me started with that. But nevertheless, the bottom line is that Deshaun Watson, throwing to a Gallup, throwing to an Amari Cooper, throwing to a C.D. Lamb, with Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield, they could do some things with that offense. This brother is spectacular, and I think that Deshaun Watson being in Dallas would be a lovely thing. On the Dak Prescott side, which is more unlikely, first, you got to get him signed. But secondly, and more importantly, the one thing we can accuse the Texans of is that they're hesitant to give up the money because they clearly was willing to give Deshaun Watson that money. And so the chances are they'd be willing to give Dak Prescott those dollars as well. And not only that, Dak Prescott, no disrespect, I don't mean it as a negative, but he's not somebody that ruffles feathers as the star quarterback of an organization. Think about the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. Think about social justice issues and things of that nature. It's Dak Prescott who's never called out Jerry Jones. It's Dak Prescott who's never said a negative word about his organization. It's Dak Prescott who's been known to toe the company line and be highly professional and efficient in terms of his performance and his dedication to his craft. And really, that's about it. The only noise that Dak Prescott has made in his career is that he refuses to sign a deal for 5 years with the Dallas Cowboys because he wants 4 instead of 5. And that's through his agent. Dak Prescott has made zero noise whatsoever in his professional career. Matter of fact, one could argue, considering the games that he hasn't missed up until this first injury of his career, he made back pages when he missed a practice, for crying out loud. That's how reliable he was. The only noise that Dak Prescott has ever made is when, in the initial process of COVID, he had a party at his house. And they were saying they didn't know whether it was 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. But he had a party at his house in the offseason. That was it. That's the only negative noise that Dak Prescott has made. So if you're the Houston Texans and you want a star quarterback, somebody that can ball, but at the same time somebody that you can trust is going to go along to get along, that's not going to ruffle any feathers with the organization, I don't know anybody that they could come up with better than Dak Prescott.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.